It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go. Monday show, July 17, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you are watching live. However, you may be watching or listening. We appreciate you. Braylon out today playing a little golf in a charity outing. I believe at Red Run today. I think that's the catch outing. Can't keep up with all these outings, Tom Mazawey. Nobody ever invited you to a golf outing, Tom Mazawey.
They did, but they gave up because I always say no. No, thank you. It's nice to be invited, but no, thank you. I'll leave it to you guys that like golf.
How was the weekend, Tom?
Good weekend. Had fun. Couple graduation parties and got to jump in the pool for a little bit. A little windy yesterday.
How many times a year
I've only been in the pool.
into the pool?
I've only been in the pool twice this year.
And you have a pool in your backyard.
Yeah.
You own the pool.
Yeah.
And you've only been in twice.
Yeah.
How does that work out?
It sucks. My wife gets in a lot, which
Does
is
she?
nice.
Well, that's good.
Yep, and the girls go in, I'd say, Maddie the most, then Lily, then Abby. So
Okay.
they get in a little bit. But this way, if I had to do it again, I probably wouldn't do it.
Really?
Yeah, but my wife would definitely want to do it again. She would want it there. It's just too much work for so little
Reward?
Yeah.
Well, the girls and Kathy might say something else.
They might.
Tom
I don't
Mazawey.
care, though.
Hey, I heard before the show we were just talking. Let's just bring people up to speed. Before the show we were talking. Tom, you did another gummy this week.
I did a half a gummy on Saturday night. My friends came over, Anthony and his wife,
What's up, Anthony and his wife?
Krista. We played euchre. They are euchre
Royalty?
pros. They're pros. So if you make a mistake, they make you
Eat it.
You have to eat it. So anyway, I have a half, and about a half an hour in, I'm making mistake after mistake. And I consider myself a good player of euchre. I want to win. I want to win every single time. I hate losing to my wife, especially. We did beat him. We beat him 6 matches to 1. But I was just not myself. I was laughing. I was eating Cheerios out of the box. I was hungry. And I went to bed, woke up with another migraine. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out of the biz.
You're out of the gummy business.
I'm out of the biz, guys. I tried. I'm done. It doesn't do enough good for me to alleviate the migraine in the morning, and it just doesn't. At least I've had 2 out of 3 times I've taken a gummy or a half. I've come up with a migraine.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
That's bad odds.
Sucks.
That's bad odds.
That is bad odds for sure.
How about you? What'd you do?
Not a ton. I went to the DYC, the Detroit Yacht Club, for a family member's birthday. Uncle Gary turned 70.
Oh, Uncle Gary. Happy birthday.
So we had a great time there. The DYC never disappoints. Great place there on Belle Isle.
Sat down by Rooster Tail, right?
Across
from Rooster Tail.
Right across. Really good time. So we had a good time. And then yesterday, dude, you know what I did yesterday? I was so hungover. I stayed on the couch and I watched quarterback.
Oh, how many?
I watched 3.
Okay, you're ahead of me.
Yeah. I watched 3 episodes of quarterback, and I'll tell you, I like Kirk Cousins now.
What did I tell you?
It's so hard not to like these people. I like Marcus Mariota.
Yes.
I like Patrick Mahomes. Now, I've always...
How about his wife?
Mahomes, it's so weird. That's a great question. Can I just
Yeah.
stick with Kirk Cousins?
Because there's a lot of
second?
people that really don't like her.
Can I just stick with Kirk Cousins
Of course.
for a second?
I love Kirk.
And I want to introduce Jeremy Bryant, Parker Brown as well. These guys.
What's up, boys?
Absolutely pleasure. Just a pleasure to have you alongside. I don't like Kirk Cousins. I didn't like Kirk Cousins. I didn't like him at Michigan State. I didn't like him in Washington. I didn't like him for the Vikings. I just don't like there's some people in sports that you just hate for no reason. Just like Buddy told Rocky, or just like Gazzo told Rocky, but he doesn't like you. Some guys, they just hate for no reason. Capiche?
Capiche.
That's kind of how I feel about Kirk Cousins. I can't tell you what I don't like about the guy, but I don't like him. And 3 episodes, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I like Kirk Cousins. Now, it is so funny how that works out like that.
Isn't it? It's shot well. It's on Netflix. They did a tremendous job. And do you like it better than Hard Knocks already?
Yes, 100%. Although I don't know, here's the difference. I don't know if I need to see another 6 to 8 episodes of it. Or it would be 5 more episodes.
Correct.
It's an 8-episode series. I don't know. I feel like I'm watching over and over and over and over again.
Well, you're going through the season. They take you through game for game
Right.
for game.
I guess I don't need to go through the season. I think like the whole season should be like 2 or 3 episodes maybe. And
I
then
get
it'd
it.
Be done. I'm not complaining about
But
the
let's see what they
content.
have for us in the next 4
Exactly.
episodes.
I did feel myself getting a little bit more bored in episode 3 than I did in episode 2. Episode 2 to episode 1. You know?
I follow you.
Yeah.
I follow you. So now let's go back to Patrick Mahomes' wife.
Yes.
Brittany Mahomes.
Yes.
Now, I haven't seen his brother yet. Is Jackson Mahomes in number 3?
I don't know.
Okay, so he's not in 2 or 3, so we'll find out if he's in later, because we know how people feel about Jackson Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
So Brittany Mahomes, I think she's very pretty. At first, when I first saw her a couple of years ago, I'm like, he could have done better. But the more, I don't know, the more you see her, the more I'm like, yeah, she's pretty, she's nice looking. She looks like a great mom. And she loves her guy. She loves Patrick. I like the way they met in grammar school, or elementary school, as you guys call it here. And he had a crush on her, and she was just like in the friend zone with him for all these years. And then finally, she goes out on a date with him, and they hit it off, and through Texas Tech and all, and they're married with 2 kids now.
See, that's what I like about it too. Is like he just seems like a normal dude.
He does.
Who married his elementary school
Isn't that cool?
sweetheart.
That's great.
And they've stayed together. Patrick Mahomes, and I mean this with the biggest sense of like compliment.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes is a big dork. And I mean that like with the utmost respect and compliment.
I follow you.
He's just a regular guy that wants to do regular things. That wants to yell at the dog, wants to do what he wants to do, watch a little television, and he's a competitor. It's hard not to like that guy.
I know, and he's out there on the field. Did you see the one game he was playing? Who was he going against? Max Crosby.
Got to be of the Raiders.
It was Max Crosby and him, and they were going at it face to face the whole game, cursing at each other. Max Crosby would give him a dig, and hit him a little bit, kick him a little bit when he was down. And at the end of the game, they win the game. And Mahomes goes over to him, hey, big dog, love you. Hey, it's all in the field. You can't ask for a better guy to root for than Patrick Mahomes. And he's the greatest quarterback in the league, and he's on his way to being the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching a little bit more of that and seeing, I guess, the Patrick Mahomes knee injury later in the year. I guess you'll be able to see that. Guys, we got a great show for you coming up today. Excuse me. Doc Macaroon covers the Lions for SI.com. He's going to join us coming up at 2:30. Believe it or not, guys, camp starts this week.
Wednesday,
the rookies get in. Saturday, the veterans get in, and then it's full go on Sunday.
we made it, guys.
And it does feel a little bit like the off season is now almost complete. Get through the week, and then you're going to have Dan Campbell press conferences beginning on Sunday at 8 a.m. and Monday at 8 a.m. and Tuesday at 8 a.m. And you're going to have new content each and every day. I do encourage everybody to check out woodwardsports.com. We're going to have all the latest news and articles and everything you need to know from camp there. Matt Broder, Gabrielle D. Phillips, they're going to be out there covering the Lions for us, and we're really excited about that. So
we got it covered for you.
Yeah, we absolutely do. WoodwardSports.com. And then, of course, the network. We'll be pretty much all Lions the rest of the way as we gear up for the opener. It is football season, and it just feels so great.
It felt so far away. And here we are, guys, just 2 days away from the rookies reporting to camp. And we get to watch them and pray for them that they stay healthy and have a great season. So I can't wait either. Football, man. Cannot wait.
Yeah, and I want to take this opportunity to thank the Detroit Tigers as well, because they got us essentially to football season. They might stink, okay? They might not be very good, but they're close. They do feel like they're close. And yesterday's game was kind of an epitome of the season. They're just good enough to lose.
Yeah.
You know
they did take 2 out of 3 from the Mariners.
They did. But again,
it's a good team.
They were shut out for, I think, a 12th time this year. I think that was a 12th time. And they don't lose these games. When they're shut out, they don't lose like 8-0 where you feel like they got no chance. They're 1-0, 2-0, 3. I mean, it's just, and it does feel like now that Minnesota, I don't want to say heaven forbid, they just played the Oakland Athletics, the worst team in baseball, maybe one of the worst teams ever.
But they play hard too.
They do play hard, but the Tigers won 2 of 3 in Seattle and ended up losing ground. Tom Mazawey.
They're 6 out.
Yeah, that's the furthest distance to first place that they've been in months.
That's a fact. And you know what? They get the Royals now, and Kansas City plays hard as well. They won a game they shouldn't have won yesterday, but the Tigers could knock them out. If the Tigers could maybe sweep this series and keep us interested. If not, it could be curtains.
Do you have a number, Tom, of how many games you think they need to be out of first place if you ask if they're buyers or sellers?
Right. Well, what do you got? 2 weeks left before the trade deadline, almost to the day. I think they got to be within 3 games to be a buyer. I think they can still stay alive by just doing little minor stuff. But they're not going to make a big deal. I don't think they make a big deal either way.
Yeah.
Plus, they don't have much to trade.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Well, I mean, I guess you could go Eduardo Rodriguez. You could. And you can go Alex Lang.
You could.
Maybe a guy like Michael Lorenzen.
He's pitching really good. He's pitching like an all-star.
Why do you want to get rid of guys like that, though?
I really don't.
If you believe next year is a year that you could win an American League Central Division, because let's face it, Miguel Cabrera's money comes off the books. They're going to have about $50 million just to get back to where they are now.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid if they go over that and do spend a little bit of money to get a couple of bats.
Can you imagine if Baez's deal came off as well?
Well,
they could have started a whole new team.
Yeah, no doubt. But that guy's just incredibly
underperforming.
Yes, to say it the least. So
hey, Shohei hit number 34 last night. If you guys missed Sunday Night Baseball against the Astros, which was probably one of the best games of the year. Astros hang on and win it thanks to Ken Tucker out in right field.
Yep.
Kyle Tucker, excuse me, hit a home run and then got the game-saving catch at the end. But great game. Shohei is a monster. His guy, Artie Moreno, who owns the Angels, said, I'm not trading him if we're in the hunt. And they're only 3 back in the wild card.
We'll talk Lions coming up next. Where is Jared Goff on the list of NFL executives, coaches, and scouts? Where does Jared Goff rank? And players. Where does Jared Goff rank when it comes to the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL? All that plus Doc Macaroon next. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. I got to get a cut on Wednesday, actually, with my girl Becca. By the way, Wednesday is the haircut. Cannot wait for it. Walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not 1 but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, 1 for you, 1 for your wife, your girlfriend, your best bud, whoever you want to give it to. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough enough Woodward sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. For Detroit, by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Your childhood may be over, but playtime is not. Outdoor Equipment Company is your source for outdoor power equipment, sales, service, parts, carrying the top brands such as Bad Boy, LS Tractor, Steel, and more, servicing the Great Lakes region with locations in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. For more information, visit OutdoorEquipCo.com, OutdoorEquipCo.com, your power equipment playground.
Should have let JB read that one. He's got the shirt on.
Woodward Sports Network on a Monday. Braylon out today. He is playing in the Catch Golf tournament out there at Red Run. He'll be back tomorrow. Tom Mazawey in his stead. Shout out to my good friend Jerry Topolinsky.
Oh, Jerry.
With Michigan Spinal Solutions. Love the shirt. Appreciate it. Supporting my guy out there. Absolutely. Michigan Spinal Solutions. Jerry Topolinsky. Go get him and the team there. Thanks to everybody out there. I do want to say this as well. Matt Broder, how we could forget this. Cannot forget Terry Foster in that group as well.
Oh, yeah, T-Foss.
People who will be out there covering the Detroit Lions. Terry Foster, of course, a legend in this area. And we're glad to have Terry Foster back as really our chief reporter.
Yep.
I mean, that guy is
he's learning
a gem.
Him. He's learning them.
He's learning them.
He's learning them.
Is that how you say it?
Well, he's teaching them.
Hey, what's up with your White Sox shirt, by the way?
It's just a shirt.
Just a shirt. Just wanted to wear a black shirt today.
Just a black shirt. I actually almost wore Tennessee today. It was orange, and I was going to put it on, and I'm like, in case I'm at the desk, I'll look like a pumpkin. So I better not wear it. And then what do you know? I find out I'm on the desk, so I picked the right shirt.
You absolutely
I didn't want to be
did.
a pumpkin. You know, I'm big enough as it is.
Pumpkin.
Now look at JB in his orange. He looks phenomenal in that orange. Outdoor Equipment Co. You check it out, right?
Look at that. Good job,
nice?
JB.
All right.
Oh, looking good. OEI.
How about Parker? Let's see. Let's take a look at Parker.
We gotta watch it. Look at his shirt.
What do you
today,
got,
too.
Parker? What do you got on today?
Man, I just got a classic powder blue collared
Beautiful.
shirt on. I mean,
Love your blue.
Look like I'm going golfing.
I said hello to some guy outside. I thought it was you.
I told him that.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he was much taller than I was.
Yeah,
so.
he was tall. I turned around and glanced. I was like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" Guy's like, "Hey, dude, how are you?" That's it.
He was the older version of you, Parker.
You probably instantly heard his voice and were like, "That's not him."
Guys, before we get to Doc Macaroon, who covers the Lions for SI.com, I wanted to get to this because, a front page story of ESPN.com today. Current NFL executives, coaches, and scouts rank the top 10 quarterbacks this year coming into 2023. And Tom, one of the things we've been creating our own list. In fact, we did it on Friday.
Yeah, we were ahead of this.
We did, and we came pretty close to what they had. Let me just reveal for you the list, and then we can discuss it. And I think the top 8 guys, well, maybe not. I don't know. But Patrick Mahomes. You've got it from the.
Yeah,
okay.
I got
great.
it.
Oh, good job.
The score put it out.
So Matthew Stafford in at 10. I'm a little surprised by that.
We had him out.
Yes, we did have him out. Dak Prescott at 9.
We had him out.
But then Trevor Lawrence at 8.
Yep, we had him.
Lamar Jackson at 7.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts at 6.
Yep, I think he could be higher.
Little surprised that Hurts was behind the guy they have at 5,
Yep.
who really hasn't won anything. And until he wins something, I would put Jalen Hurts above him, but that's Justin Herbert. Herbert is in at 5. At 4, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers with the Jets, new lease on life.
I think we had him out. I think Sean talked us out of putting him in.
Maybe not.
Because remember, he had a bad year last year. I still said, and I said it then, I'll say it now, he's always, to me, top 5.
I think top 3 are indisputable.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes 1, Joe Burrow 2, and Josh Allen 3. 1, 2, and 3 are completely non-negotiable. And then I'd put Hurts at 4, though.
Okay, I'm with you.
And I think you can probably even make an argument for Hurts and Allen. But I'm still taking Allen. If you give, I think that head coach is really bad.
Sean
in Buffalo.
McDermott, you don't think he's good?
I think Sean McDermott is not a good head coach. And
I think you and Braylon are too hard on him, to be honest with you. I think he's a very good coach.
Well, I think their offensive scheme is no good. And I think the players would back that up. I think.
Well, Stephon Diggs is pissed.
Yes.
And they wanted to get themselves D-Hop, and they didn't.
Exactly. We can talk more about that in just a little bit. But they have no running back either. Now they do. They do. Feels like they do a little bit this year. But either way, are you comfortable with the list, Tom?
Yeah, pretty much I am. I would do a couple of switches. Like, what did we talk about? I think Goff. We had Jared Goff in the top 8. On Friday. I remember we all went around. We went through every single team.
That's what we did, yeah.
And we had Jared Goff in the top 8. You remember? It wasn't even 9 or 10. He was 8.
And he was 2 in the NFC. Let me read for you because they do have honorable mentions on this list.
I got it on the sheet, by the way.
Oh, Deshaun Watson is – where's your –
It's right here at the 229.
Yeah, no, but I was going to read something.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Is that okay with you, Tom?
Please do. I thought you were just reading the honorable mentions.
No, not at all.
Don't mind me.
I appreciate your stepping in there.
Don't mind me.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
So the honorable mentions on this list: Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Derek Carr, and Tua Tagovailoa. Here's what they have to say about Jared Goff. Goff rarely got a single vote over the past 3 seasons, but this year he appeared on nearly 25% of the ballots after leading Detroit to 9 wins, thanks in large part to the 29-7 touchdown interception ratio. Ranked 3rd in NFL in QBR against the blitz. Quote, he's always been a good thrower of the football. His issue to me was toughness, particularly in the pocket. That's what an AFC scout said. I thought he addressed a lot of that this year and stood tall. The Lions emphasized the pocket toughness with Goff, who worked hard at it. He also has a strong trust in OC Ben Johnson, which was a big deal for him after the Rams unceremoniously moved on from him in the 2021 offseason. Jared Goff, who didn't have a single vote on this list last year, on 25% of the ballots.
Good.
He is turning heads, Tom.
No doubt. And he's going to be a lot more comfortable. These guys got to understand the Lions have a top 3 offensive line. Could even be higher than that before you know it. And he is very comfortable behind there. We told you. 7 picks last year, no fumbles in the second half of the year. He's not turning the ball over. He is doing what he's supposed to do with not a big time wide receiver group. He did a fantastic job last year. We wanted to see him with Jamison Williams this year. It's unfortunate. You're only going to see him after week 6. We'll see how that rolls, but he's got himself a brand new tight end out of Iowa and Sam Laporta. And that offensive line it's probably at its peak right now. Penei Sewell is starting to turn heads. And what I mean by that is he's getting mentioned as one of the best tackles in the game now, already in his 3rd year.
If Jared Goff was a stock, I'm buying.
Absolutely.
You know, when you read some of the names on this honorable mention list alone, okay, Tua Tagovailoa feels like he's trending down,
unfortunately,
because of the injuries, because of the health. But
I do like him.
To me, I do like him too. But you know, the best ability is availability in the NFL, and he has not shown throughout the course of his young career that he's had the ability to stay healthy. I think Derek Carr. For his greatest, I like Derek Carr.
He's on the way down.
He's on. He was a stock, he's trending down. Deshaun Watson.
We don't know.
like kind of like flatlining a little bit. I believe he's on his way up a little bit, but you're talking about
He might never be it again.
Because you were talking about a guy in Deshaun Watson that 3 years ago, this is a top 4 quarterback in this league.
Yeah.
Top 4. And nowhere near the top 10 right now. Can he play himself in? Sure. Obviously, he can play himself in. All of these guys can play themselves in, but I just don't know. The jury's still out on that. And then Kirk Cousins feels like he's on the decline. I mean, 34 years old. He is not getting better.
Correct.
You know, he's trending down.
He is.
Jared Goff does feel like he's a guy that is on his way up.
He's entering his prime.
I go back to something I said a while back, Tom, and that is since Jared Goff has been a member of the Detroit Lions, I have been looking for his replacement. I think 99% of Lions fans.
Not these Lion fans. Not in our chat.
Maybe. But I believe 99% of Lions fans, when this trade was made, have been looking to get rid of Jared Goff or looking for the next guy. And Hendon Hooker still might be that guy, by the way. But this is a very big year for Jared Goff. If they complete what we believe they can do this year, and that is win a division championship, win a playoff game, heaven forbid, win 2 playoff games, do you just not re-sign the guy? And we can talk more about that throughout the year, but it just does feel like this is a guy that is entering his prime. You can get another 5-6 really good years with Jared Goff, and this could be your quarterback of the future.
If you ask me, and I know you did, I will tell you this. If he does as good as he did last year, I still don't know if they sign him to a long-term deal, because you could play with the franchise tag for a while, and he's never been franchise tagged yet. So this would be the first time that's going to happen, at least to my knowledge. And then you got to see what Hendon Hooker gives you. You drafted him to possibly be your quarterback of the future. And his age, he's not a 22-year-old kid. We know that. He came out of college with a little age on his back. So he's going to get a chance when he's healthy to show what he can do as an NFL quarterback. And you said, Rye, he'd be a first-round draft pick had he been healthy. So if that's the truth, then he is your quarterback of the future, one way or the other. Unless Jared Goff comes out and does a Dan Marino type year, I don't think you're re-signing him to a long-term contract. I just don't.
You surprised Matthew Stafford's on that list?
To me, I have a hard time telling you that he don't belong there.
Yeah.
I think he's right at 10. I think that's where he belongs. I do. And I think Kirk Cousins probably should be 9, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. I have a hard time writing the epitaph for Matthew Stafford. I still think he's got some. If he's feeling good, he is still that quarterback that we all thought he was going to be here in Detroit.
The Rams are my surprise team to make the playoffs here. That's my bold prediction, for lack of a better team in the NFC. I'm looking at the Rams this year.
Now, that said, there was rumors, and we all tell you about it, that they want to trade him. They've been offering to trade him basically anywhere that would pay his salary because, unfortunately for the Rams, his $50 million bonus kicked in and escalator, so that's what he's getting from the Rams right now.
We'll talk more Lions, more NFL coming up next with our good friend Doc Macaroon, who covers the Lions for SI.com. Training camp starts this week, fellas. Ladies and gents, I should say. Hey, let me tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. A trusted name for over 50 years, Les Stanford has added the Buick GMC brands to their company. And they're located on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile in the great city of Ferndale. Same great service that customers have come to know for over 5 decades. Of course, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford, Ian Dearborn on Michigan Avenue, where they have been for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want, all GM brands under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Hey guys, play, practice, and party at 5 Iron Golf coming this July. It's here, folks. Detroit, located inside of the Cambria Hotel, right next to WDIV. As a matter of fact, downtown's newest sports bar has taken 13 TrackMan simulators, certified instructors, and a full bar and restaurant. Mention promo code Woodward at checkout for 50% off your first visit. Visit 5irongolf.com for tee up good times. And let's do it right now. That's 5irongolf.com.
Woodward Sports Network, we are very excited. Lions rookies get to camp on Wednesday. The veterans report on Saturday, and then they go NFL training camp on Sunday. Less than 1 week away and a couple of days away for the rookies. Let's bring him in. Covers the Lions for SI.com, on Twitter at Detroit Podcast. The great John Doc Macaroon. Hey, Doc, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Doc.
Man, I am pumped up. Summer was great. The last 6 weeks have been fun for me personally, but I'm ready to cover football training camp this weekend. I can't wait.
Yeah, it does feel like Christmas morning a little bit for guys in this business. I mean, when I'll speak for myself. The last 3 months have been fairly miserable. You know, I mean, you're just dying to talk about football because that's what carries everybody's interest. And here we are. What are you looking for, Doc, when you show up to camp? Is there one guy you're gonna put your focus on first initially? Who are you gonna be writing about?
Yeah, two, obviously. I think that rookie Jack Campbell is going to be one of the targets early, being that the Lions said that he hasn't really earned his starter's job. So I want to see how he competes, knowing that the coaching staff is monitoring everything that he's doing, knowing that he puts a lot of pressure on himself. I think that he's going to be eventually the captain of that defense. I want to see how aggressive and nasty he plays. And just like everybody else, I want to see how Jameson Williams has attacked this summer. Like everybody has seen on social media, he does look bulkier. He does look like a player that's running crisper routes. I want to see the chemistry that he has with Jared Goff and just how he has approached this offseason, because obviously when he's going to be away for 6 weeks, a lot of outside noise has permeated this young player. Now I want to see what he does on the field with extended reps with Jared Goff in that first team offense.
And this training camp is huge for him. Last year, he did not get a camp at all. Obviously, suspended for the first 6 games this year. But this next, it's 6 weeks or so of work that he's going to be able to put in for the Detroit Lions until the season starts is huge, is it not?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, there's been a lot of talk regarding the media coverage of Jameson Williams, the things that he's done off the field. And quite frankly, I'm glad that his dad came out and spoke and really put out there at the recent youth camp that Jameson ran that he understands what's going on. He understands that there's going to be a certain level of attention placed on his son. He is a first-round draft selection. The Lions traded up, made an investment to select this young player. And a lot of the headlines have been for things away from the field. And I think it's going to be incumbent on Jameson Williams to make a lot of the headlines on the field. And trust me, guys, at all Lions and all the other sites, you guys included, if Jameson Williams makes plays, shows out, plays well with Jared Goff, has a connection, we are going to report on it. So it is very important for this young wide receiver to make a lot of plays at training camp, to look like he has chemistry, to look like he has understood what has been given to him, the very solid responsibility that he's been given, especially probably he's going to be eventually the number 2 wide receiver behind Amon-Ra St. Brown this year. So I do believe that he's going to actually use the coverage that he's had, some of the negativity, as motivation to show out this year.
Talking to Doc Macaroon, covers the Lions for SI.com, on Twitter at Detroit Podcast. Doc, big picture question, just as we get ready to head to camp this week, towards the end of the week. This feels like, however you want to characterize it, the biggest Detroit Lions season in nearly 30 years. How are the players, how is the organization going to handle a season, do you believe, with all these expectations? We have not seen this kind of excitement, not in any year that Matthew Stafford was here, not obviously. You could go back 25, 30 years. We haven't seen a season as highly anticipated as this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited. Probably the most excited that I've been to be around this football team with elevated expectations. The expectation is that this football team this year will win the division, host a home playoff game. It's inconceivable to me, really, that since that building at Ford Field has been open, there has not been a home playoff game for this passionate fan base to support the team. So here's the thing, guys. Dan Campbell is a masterful motivator. And despite the success that they did have last year, winning 8 of their last 10 games, they did not make the postseason. And they all know it. They all feel it. They didn't get really nothing accomplished last year by not making the postseason. So Dan Campbell, first thing he's going to talk to them about is, look, you can read all of your headlines, but in all actuality, when the things that people care about the most, what you did in the playoffs, you weren't there. And this football team is going to use that as motivation. Obviously, this is a team that has been constructed with a bunch of gritty, young football players that have the right makeup, using all things that they need to motivate themselves to play well, to prove people wrong. I mean, you have rankings come out, and I heard your guys' discussion. Jared Goff, after what he accomplished last year, is not included as a top 10 quarterback. Look, right now, it's safe to say he's better than Trevor Lawrence working with Ben Johnson. So you look at what these Lions are about, and they're not going to say it publicly, but they do understand what's being said about them, and they're going to come out here this year and look to prove everybody wrong. And what a beautiful opening contest to show everybody what they've learned to start the year against Kansas City.
Hey, Doc, a great finish last year. We all know 8-2 to finish the season, but you can't bring that with you here. It's unfortunate. Last year they hit the peak, man, because if they made the playoffs last year, they would have been trouble. They didn't. So here we are this year. Exit DeAndre Swift. Exit Jamal Williams. Enter David Montgomery. Enter Jahmyr Gibbs. Better running game now, or questions still?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a better running game. And here's the thing. What the Lions were looking for, and when they did the self-scout, Ben Johnson said, look, when we reviewed the plays that we called, there was meat left on the bone. Extra yards could have been accomplished, meaning that they saw Jamal Williams run behind a talented offensive line, maybe secure 3 to 4 yards. But the play design, really with 1 or 2 extra missed tackles, could have produced 8 or 9 yards. So I think that when you get a home run threat like Jahmyr Gibbs, when you get a running back like David Montgomery, who has been shown the reason why the Lions coveted him and were willing to give him an elevated free agent contract was his toughness, his physical running style. And they look and they say, and this is no disrespect and no slight to Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift, but if they say, look, if Jamal Williams can get 1,000 yards running behind this line, what can Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery accomplish? And it's going to be big things. And that's why early in the year, I think they're going to count on that run game to do a lot of early touches for Montgomery and Gibbs, and it'll pay off in spades.
All right, fill in the blank, Doc. Jahmyr Gibbs will account for blank yards from scrimmage.
I think early on, look for him to be used a lot in the passing game. I think you see what Brad Holmes and everybody sees in him. an offensive weapon. So I think he accomplishes at least 900 yards in total running and receiving yards. And I think that he'll acclimate himself quite well early on. You realize the coaching staff wants him to play physical. They want him to break tackles, and they want him to be one of the options that will be replacing Jamison Williams. You need, obviously, one of the big question marks going into training camp is who are going to be the offensive weapons behind Amon-Ra St. Brown. And you realize Sam Laporta, young tight end that's going to get a lot of touches, but also Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't think they're going to wait around for Jahmyr Gibbs to develop. They're going to give him a lot of targets, and you expect him with Ben Johnson, and one of his great talents is to scheme open talented players. Guys, buy into the hype. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to produce. You're not going to invest a first-round pick in a player that you don't think is going to come out here right away. And Brad Holmes has a lot to prove because you did move on from DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, who were productive. But by all accounts, they did upgrade, and Jahmyr Gibbs is going to produce and produce often in this offense.
Hey, Doc, I wanted to go back to Goff for a minute. And you know, the list comes out today with the current NFL executives and coaches and scouts and everything. Goff's honorable mention wasn't on any votes last year. This year made the list for 25% of people that sent the questionnaire back to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. We've been trying to replace this guy ever since he got here. Is it conceivable that he is the long-term solution for this franchise? And, you know, that 29 touchdown to 7 interception, that 29 to 7 touchdown interception ratio, can that be duplicated, exceeded? What do you make of Jared Goff this year? And, you know, the chances that he backs up and runs back the season that he had last year, if not improves upon it?
Yeah, and it's real interesting to see how the national media will view a player like Jared Goff. They kind of want to see him prove it again. But look, Jared Goff has had successful years in the past, a quarterback that has taken teams deep in the postseason. You hear what Brad Holmes thinks about Jared Goff in regards to his toughness. Recently at All Lines, we wrote about, you know, what some of the execs have said in regards to really when you saw what were some of the issues that Goff had, it was standing in the face of the blitz and being effective. Well, last year, they targeted that. This coaching staff does not shy away from criticizing their players behind the scenes. And Jared Goff, one of his big issues early in the season was turnovers and being a little bit more stout in the pocket, facing pressure. And he was accepting of the criticism, and he was willing to work on it and showcased improvement. Now, you look at it this year, working with Ben Johnson, working with this offense, I expect Jared Goff to easily surpass 30 touchdowns and to limit his interceptions. They may be higher early on as he takes some chances working out with the new wide receivers and without Jamison Williams. I could see elevated interception numbers, but he's still going to be productive because of the fact that the defense is improved. So, yes, if Jared Goff does indeed lead this football team to the playoffs, the big contract is coming. Brad Holmes, the entire organization, really see a player in Jared Goff, and I know it's not publicly talked about, but I'll say it. This is a tough football player that took a lot of hits last year, took a lot of hits his first year, and didn't complain, didn't, go down the rabbit hole of chirping at the media when they were criticizing him his first year, came back last year, worked harder, and moved this offense to play a lot better. So in essence, this player, Jared Goff, embodies what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell want. A player that was really considered a cast-off, a throw-in in the trade, but worked hard, kept his nose in the notebook and figured things out, and has a coordinator that tailored an offense to suit his needs. So if he leads this football team to a home playoff win, maybe even a potential deep run, $40+ million is coming to Jared Goff. And that's an ultimate motivator for this young cat, is to prove everybody wrong and to potentially, and it could happen because NFL teams covet quarterbacks. He could reset the market and even top 50 million in the neighborhood of Lamar Jackson. If he can get this Lions football team something they haven't accomplished in decades, why wouldn't you pay it?
Because you have a rookie behind him that you invested a pick in that probably could have been a first-round pick in Hendon Hooker. So what I say is, even if he gets him to the playoffs, Doc, just my opinion, I don't know if you have to pay him right away.
Look, Maz, and here's the thing. I know everybody loves draft picks and things like that, But part of my vacation has been sitting and enjoying being outside, but I also took in all 8 episodes of Quarterback on Netflix. And they really, in one episode, highlighted just how intricate it is to learn an NFL offense with play calls, with adjusting protections. It's not as easy as it looks to go out there. And Hendon Hooker is going to have the world thrown at him right now. You think he's going to grasp Ben Johnson's complicated offense within 12 months? No, I don't think so. I think Jared Goff, with his experience, with everything that he's got going on, we do need to pay close attention to and give credit to Jared Goff for being able to succeed in this offense. It's not easy. The reads, the route trees, the protections that these quarterbacks have to be aware of, knowing what's coming at them. Jared Goff has handled it and proven he can handle it consistently. Rookies coming in, there's no guarantee that they're going to come in right away and handle everything. You saw Peyton Manning, his first season, throw double-digit interceptions. They take their time, and the odds say that Hendon Hooker will not be successful. So if you have somebody that proves it, there's no way you let him walk out the door. I think the fan base would revolt.
Hey, Doc, we're having a lot of fun. You got a couple of minutes for us? Can I get a break in, or you got to go?
As long as you need, guys. I love it. I love
awesome.
to talk.
Good. Because I want to talk about the other side of the ball, the defense when it comes back. You mentioned Jack Campbell. I want to talk a little bit about the Lions defense. I want to just look around the NFL as well and in the NFC North, if we could do that. Thanks for sticking around. More with Doc next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and gold, that black and yellow sign, it tells the bad guys one thing:
stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Maz and I and everybody in the chat, continuing on the Jared Goff, Hendon Hooker debate. And you know what? As we bring Doc Macaroon, covers the Lions for SI.com, if we are having this debate moving forward, can I just that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right? If we're having this debate, should the Lions re-sign Jared Goff or give Hendon Hooker a shot at it? That means the Lions had a great year.
Yes.
Because the only way in which you are talking about re-signing Jared Goff is if the Lions win the division and win a playoff
What
game.
if they just get in the playoffs?
No. I think they got to win a playoff game.
Okay, let's say they don't win a playoff game. And Doc, you could pop your head back on here now. If they don't win a playoff game, you don't forget, guys, you have the most expensive offensive line in football to pay and keep together. You're not doing that if you give Goff $50 million. That's why you draft the rookie, Doc. I mean, I'm not piddling on Goff. I hope he becomes the next great thing here in Detroit. We haven't had a great quarterback here in Detroit. Matthew Stafford, it came up short. It's unfortunate. So I want Jared Goff to win games. But what if you just get in the playoffs and you lose? Are you still signing him?
Maz, yeah, it all depends on how he performs. Look, if the defense gives up several points, if there's some unfortunate things that happen that are not Jared Goff's fault, for example, tossing the football to Amon-Ra or Jameson, and the football just ends up on the ground, fluke things happen that are beyond Jared Goff's control, then you take a serious look at it. But if Jared Goff is called upon and he performs well, limits his turnovers, reads the pocket well, makes plays, and you get into a shootout and you lose, by less than a touchdown, and it's not Jared Goff's fault, then you've got to remember still, this is only year 3 of the rebuild. And I look at it like this, and people will say, the number that's due to a big time quarterback, the cap is still rising. Right. The opportunities are still there to pay and to be creative in structuring these deals so that you can keep a lot of your talent. So it will not be as disturbing to the rest of the talent that I think what I hear is when people get scared, well, we can't pay Amon-Ra, we can't pay Sewell, we can't pay all these players if you keep Goff. Yes, you can. You can structure deals and find ways with the cap and have other players take less money and restructure to be able to afford the players that you want to keep. And there are, in every season, tough decisions where you let guys move on and you draft young players. If the first 3 years of what Brad Holmes has brought to this football team tell you anything, he can identify young talent and can have them come in and compete. And just, again, young quarterbacks take a while to acclimate. And people will say, Hendon Hooker in a year should be able to master the offense. Well, it doesn't work like that. You saw Marcus Mariota struggle. You see a bunch of young quarterbacks. Now you're going to see Jordan Love get thrown into the mix. He's not just going to show up there and replace Aaron Rodgers. There's going to be growing pains. And Jared Goff had his growing pains with the Rams and his first year in Detroit. And if you can take advantage of what Ben Johnson has taught him, then you have an opportunity to move forward. And I think that this football team with Jared Goff has a chance to have a lot of success.
I want to talk about the other side of the ball, Doc. That's defensively. Obviously, a lot of problems last year. I think in their what were they? What did they start the season? 1-6.
Yeah, and they were horrible.
Yeah, that's right. 1-6. They allowed
defenses.
30 points a game. In their last 10 games, they allowed 20 points a game. It was a much different defense in the second half of the year, but it does feel like a new defense. In 2023. Jack Campbell in. You've got C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Emmanuel Mosley, Cam Sutton, Kirby Joseph in year 2, Aiden Hutchinson, James Houston. I mean, you got a ton of guys. They got a lot of playmakers back there. How quickly can that thing come together?
Yeah, and I think, as an NFL reporter, one of the things that we want to be able to do is fairly judge Aaron Glenn. Because the first couple years, really, the talent level wasn't there. I could even push back on Maz saying, look, had the Lions made the postseason last year, it might have been ugly had you gone to San Francisco and trying to get into a shootout with that defense and that secondary that was subpar. Now this season, we can honestly assess what Aaron Glenn can honestly do, which is play violent, have his defensive front, pressure the quarterback, try and stop the run, and you have a secondary that has all the makings of being one of the finest units in the entire NFL. Kirby Joseph, C.J. Gardner-Johnson are going to bring a level of swagger that this city hasn't seen for a long time. You got, obviously, I think the biggest question mark will be the linebacker position with Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, and Jack Campbell. They got a lot to prove, and there's going to be a lot thrown at them. But I do think that with the improved defensive front, the secondary with Jerry Jacobs, who's ultra competitive, I think that Aaron Glenn's defense is going to do a lot of good things and at least get the rankings, by all accounts, into the top 15 across the board, because being 30th and 32nd in a lot of defensive metrics isn't going to cut it.
What do you think about the Vikings heading into this season? I'll be honest with you, I'm probably totally wrong to do this, but I am discounting them as a real threat to win the division this year. I think this is the Lions division by far. I'm talking by 3 games.
Okay. No, I look at it, and I have a ton of respect for Kirk Cousins and what the Vikings are doing. Coach O'Connell has a football team and an offensive philosophy that can translate. I know people will say, well, they moved on from Dalvin Cook. What does that look like? They still have an offense with Justin Jefferson, who is supremely talented, who everybody thinks is one of the top premier wide receivers. And when you look at it, yes, every football team does have the opportunity to, reshape their roster every year, but they won't win every single game like they were able to late last year. There may be a dip, but I think it's going to be the Lions and the Vikings in two real competitive games when they do face off against each other, because the rest of the division is hearing all the chirping that the Lions and the national media is doing. So each contest in the division is going to be must-see. I wouldn't discount them when you have a veteran quarterback that came off of a tough playoff loss to the Giants, got a lot to prove, and who puts in as much work as Jared Goff. I think that the Vikings and the Lions contests are going to be two of the most must-see contests on their schedule this year.
Hey, that was the game that cost them a playoff spot last year, was that first game against Minnesota. And that was a Dan Campbell, couple of blunders on his part. And of course, they didn't have the kicker they could trust as well. But a lot of people are on the Bears bandwagon, and I don't get it. I know I do like Justin Fields. I do. And as far as the Packers go, they're a very good team. They have a very good defense. They have two excellent running backs. If Love can just play ball, they could win some games. I mean, it's not as bad a division as a lot of people think. I do think the Bears are last, though.
Yeah, I do think it shakes out with the Lions ending up the year on top, with the Vikings second, and then you're going to have the Bears in the mix too, and maybe even the Packers take a significant step back with Jordan Love, because you never know with the young quarterback how they acclimate in those pressure moments. Those are the moments where you got to make the key throws, make the right decision, and rally your team. And the Bears, I think that a lot of the hype revolves around Justin Fields. A lot of people like mobile quarterbacks that can make plays. You get them a couple more weapons, and you improve the offensive line slightly. And many people think that, okay, maybe they can take the next step like the Lions did last year. But I just don't think that at the end of the day, that when you look at it in totality, the Lions top to bottom with the improvements they made and the young talent that they have, all the first and second round talent that the Lions do have that are going to take the next step forward, I think the games will be tough and competitive. But in the end, the Lions now, the thing that we've always wanted is this young team. Did they learn how to win? Did they learn how to close out those games? Now they did. They showcased that. And now when they get into these moments, you'll start to see the Lions maybe be similar to the Vikings and close out a lot more games late than they did early in the season. I think the Lions are going to start the year off pretty strong in their schedule and finish out the year with double-digit wins.
Not only double-digit wins, I still think I'm going minimum 12, maximum 13 wins. And I think they're going to fight for home field throughout, too, but that's neither here nor there. Doc, I'm going to put you on the spot. Need a bold prediction for the NFL season. Bold prediction. Is there a team that you believe will sneak into the playoffs? Is there a team that you think will make it to the Super Bowl? A surprise team that was terrible last year that'll make the playoffs
or
this
vice
year.
versa.
Or vice versa. Or, yeah, a good team that's going to be terrible. Bold prediction for 2023.
Man, I just got to stick with the Lions. I think the Lions, when you look at it in totality, it is bold to predict the Lions to have playoff success. When you see a franchise that hasn't won in 30 years, you realize, holy cow, the feat that could be accomplished. I think that you have Ben Johnson, who many people believe is a future NFL head coach. You look at Dan Campbell, who people have written off and maybe question his intellect when he's among probably the top 6 NFL minds in regards to offensive prowess and motivation and everything that he brings to the table. So I think that my bold prediction will be put the Detroit Lions in the NFC title game. Put them there, and they're going to be battling it out in the fourth quarter with the lead. Maybe they'll advance to the Super Bowl. Maybe the opposition, maybe the team that's opposite them, the Eagles or the 49ers, they make a play or two late, or maybe it's the Lions that come out to end up in the Super Bowl. But I think that this year, when you look at everything and when you have this Detroit Lions football team in year 3 with Dan Campbell, put the Lions in the NFC title game with Jared Goff balling out for 4,800 yards and 45 touchdowns plus this year. Look for the Lions to make a lot of noise. It'll be bold. And just like all these books that I've read in the back of me here, book it. The Detroit Lions are going to have a stellar year. This is the year that they do deliver.
Man, I hope you're so right, man. It would be a dream come true for all of us that watch this team and love this team. I did read earlier today on All Lions on your Sports Illustrated that they're not going to be able to have the family day at Ford Field this year. It looks like the WWE got in the way this time there, Doc.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a fun event. I like going down there to see all the fans and the support. It's a free event, but it'll return next year. But yeah, WWE's coming to town August 5th. I'll be there in attendance at Ford Field, screaming my head off with my kids and nephews and having a good time. I'm a big WWE fan, so I'll be enjoying it August 5th after training camp that day. But look, there's opportunities for fans to go out to Allen Park this year and check out this football team. I'm expecting huge attendance at Allen Park with lines, and I always give the fans credit. I show up there half hour before Dan Campbell shows up, and when the days are there where the Lions fans get to come in, there's always 50 to 100 people waiting an hour ahead of practice to get there and to support the Lions. The fan base is among the best. Everybody knows it, and this is one of those years where now the opportunity for the team to succeed is going to come to fruition. I can't wait for this fan base to celebrate something positive from this football team.
Hey, and the rumors are out there, Doc. They want to, at least that's what you understand and what you're reading, they want to get a bigger place than where their Allen Park headquarters are now, and maybe a place downtown Detroit somewhere. But we'll be waiting for you to write that so we could all figure out where the next Lions home will be.
I'll tell you, and Doc, I was actually going to raise this with you as somebody who watched Quarterback, because I've watched 3 episodes of Quarterback, and one of the things that not staggers me, but just how beautiful and gorgeous these training facilities are around in Minnesota, in Atlanta, in Kansas City. It feels like the Lions really absolutely do need a new training facility. They've kind of done what they've outgrown. They've outgrown Allen Park for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And the Lions will support it. If there's an opportunity to do anything, I think Sheila Hamp has proven that she'll do anything to help this football team. She's just as hungry as I am, as everybody like you two are, for this football team to succeed. And I think it's in the works. I'm hoping, me personally, it's out here on the east side, Macomb area, all this untapped property. I'd love it. But yeah, downtown Detroit would be a great place so that everybody can come down and check out the team. Because the current facility cannot hold as many as some of these others. But yeah, if you advance it, you could easily pack 10,000 people there for every Lions practice, especially with the personality of Dan Campbell and this young, energetic team. They're a likable group.
I got a place in St. Clair Shores for them. I got a perfect spot for them.
Yeah.
I can't let you know. I can't tell you. I'm
very
good. Let them know.
All right. Doc, thanks so much, man. Check them out, SI.com, on Twitter, at Detroit Podcast. John, Doc Macaroon. Thanks, Doc. We appreciate it, buddy.
No problem, Ryan. I'm going to need you and all the Michigan basketball supporters to get together and write an apology letter for being fake to Hunter Dickinson. Man, I thought you guys didn't treat him right. As a Spartan supporter, you guys are not treating your players right. Just one embarrassing season in the NIT, and you turn your back on Hunter Dickinson? Being fake is not cool, guys.
Oh, screw Hunter Dickinson.
He's a fake Midwest guy. Fake.
Enjoy. Thanks, Doc. Appreciate it, buddy.
Go Izzo.
We're going to take a break, but more Lions next. But first, a message from Big Boy.
Oh, Big Boy. Strawberry Fest is back and still going. It's the summer, folks. Get on down there. Start your breakfast off with the strawberry hotcakes or the mouth-watering red velvet waffle. If you're not in the mood for breakfast, what the hell's wrong with you, huh? Let's go. Get some lunch. Get the strawberry bacon chicken wrap or the refreshing Summer Splash salad and those desserts. That's why you go to Big Boy. You get the classic strawberry pie, the deep-fried vanilla Oreo, or the brand-new strawberry hot fudge cake. All sounds delicious. Plus, you can just order a Big Boy from your favorite local Big Boy.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hour number 2 of the program, Ryan Ermanni and Tom Mazawey. Braylon is out today playing in the catch golf outing at Red Run. He'll be back tomorrow. JB, Jeremy Bryant, in the audio booth. Of course, Parker Brown in there as well. Thanks to you for watching and listening, however you're doing so. We certainly appreciate it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Less than 200 subscribers away from 45,000 on this platform. Hit the like button. Let's see if we can get to over 100 likes by the end of this segment. If you can't watch live, download our podcast. Leave a 5-star review, available everywhere you listen to podcasts. You know, one of the things, Tom Mazawey, just getting back to the Lions, everything feels predicated to, and this is not unique to the Detroit Lions. It is universal around NFL teams. It's health. You know, when you look at Warren Sharp's NFL offensive line rankings, the Lions come up second.
Yeah.
On this list, they're the second best offensive line. That does feel like where their strength is. I think in the secondary too. I think they are now strong at the defensive backfield. But Warren Sharp, NFL Network, has the Eagles 1, Lions 2. On this list.
Pretty damn good company.
That is pretty damn good company, but it does all feel predicated on health. The Lions were very fortunate last year. Of course, they had a couple of guards missed. I think Ragnow missed 2 games. But Decker, Ragnow, Sewell, those guys stay healthy, and you can mix and match in there.
Jonah Jackson,
Graham Glasgow. Yep. You've got some guys that you can throw in there. So,
who was our guy last year? The guy that barely.
Dan Skipper.
Is he still?
No, he's not with the team anymore.
Damn.
I don't know who he's with. Let me just do a quick search.
I love that guy, and I loved his story. And I know, if you can't make it, you can't make it. I mean, this is a top 5, top 2 here as far as Warren. Maybe they bring him back. Maybe Dan Skipper comes back.
Wait, is he?
Hopefully he does.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't realize that they let him off.
I don't believe he's on the roster, Dan Skipper, and it says he's an NFL free agent. So,
okay.
He's not on the Lions depth chart anywhere, so that would assume
that
he is a free agent.
And he played well. He played
absolutely.
well when they needed him to.
No doubt.
And his story was great. I mean, Hard Knocks kind of centered on it a little bit, but
sure,
you always root for those kind of guys. And he's like, what could I have done better to make this team? What could I do better? What could I improve on? Tell me. I'm really doing my best. I'm playing hurt. I'm doing whatever it takes. What else can I do to stay on this team? It's so hard to stay on a team, especially a team like this that is on the upswing. Top 3 offensive line. That's pretty damn good, man.
Absolutely. No doubt. Hey, Tom, I wanted to get to the news of the day in the NFL, and that's DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
He signed a 2-year deal with the Tennessee Titans, of all places. Over the New England Patriots.
Remember, they were the first team to talk to him.
They were. So Tennessee and New England were the 2 teams that were in on this train from the start, and it felt like those were the only 2 teams to seriously, or at least publicly, seriously go after DeAndre Hopkins. That in and of itself, are you surprised by that? Because I feel like I'm surprised by that, and then for him to land in Tennessee.
Well, with all the things you heard about him is he lost his fastball, right? He couldn't get by guys, couldn't separate. Yeah, he's going to catch everything you throw to him. And he wanted to go to a team that had a great dynamic, a great executive, great coaching, good togetherness. He didn't have that in Arizona. And he goes to Mike Vrabel, who is a very good coach, and they run a steady program. And they're always 1 or 2 in their division. Yeah, they're going through some things. They did draft their new quarterback coming up. Will Levis is going to be is a Titan, so we'll see if he can beat out Ryan Tannehill. Malik Willis is hanging on for 3rd.
Ryan Tannehill.
Malik Willis is hanging on for 3rd. Supposedly, He is outperforming Will Levis to this point. We'll see how that goes. There was a rumor out there that the Lions might be interested in bringing Malik Willis here to Detroit as a third guy just to hang on and see what's going on. Well, they got Nate Sudfeld, so he would be battling to make the team. But this is I think it's a good spot for him, and I'll tell you why. First of all, we looked it up. There's no state tax, so he's going to save his money. It's like going to play in Miami, right? So you're saving money there. If he's going to make up to $32 million on this contract, he's going to keep most of that money, which is really good. Tennessee is a beautiful place to live. Nashville is an up-and-coming city. He could do a lot worse, leaving Arizona to go to Tennessee. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but you know what? He wanted to get paid.
You know what this means for me? I do believe that DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a significant impact in Tennessee. I think Ryan Tannehill, yes, he's on the decline, but he's a very good quarterback. They have a very good running back in Derrick Henry, one of the best in the league. They drafted Tajay Spears, so their running game is very good. But they have Treylon Burks.
Yes.
Is he the wide
receiver?
But
they gave up A.J. Brown to the Eagles.
So now you've got two really good wide receivers, two really good running backs, and a damn good quarterback, a decent quarterback, I should say. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion now that the Jacksonville Jaguars win the AFC South. I think if you look around...
They were your best bet.
Absolutely, they were. And I think they were the best bet of a lot of other people as well. If you look around the league, I think Jacksonville was a team that if you asked people who is the most confident team that would win a division championship, which team do you have the most confidence in that would win a division? I think you just look at the 32 teams in the NFL, you look at the 8 divisions, and you point to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
With this signing, I don't think you do that anymore. I think Tennessee could really surprise some people this year. They've got a really good head coach, good running game, solid defense. They gave up 21 points a year last year. 21 points. If you're an NFL team and you give up 21 points a game, you're going to win more than you lose. Now, last year they didn't. Let me rephrase that. If you're an NFL team that gives up 21 points a game, if you have a serviceable offense,
you should win.
You should win more than you lose.
Right.
And they did not last year. I think they were 7-10 last year, Tennessee. Still, by giving up 21 points a game, he's going to help them.
They had Joshua Dobbs as their quarterback the last 4 games of the year. He was a practice squad player for the Lions. So they get much improved this year. And I kind of almost agree with you. I do think it's Jacksonville and Tennessee. It's a 2-horse race in the AFC South. I still think Jacksonville wins that division. They seem to have Tennessee's number when it comes to playing head-to-head with them. But definitely a big improvement for the Titans. And I'm happy for them. Hey, a lot of people say D-Hop took the easy way out. He just took the money. But he's got a good place to play, a good place to grow, to have his family, too. Hell, man, if I left Michigan, I would look at Tennessee as a place maybe to go and live.
God, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, how bad is it to go play for the Titans?
It's not.
They're
getting a new stadium too. It's gonna be pretty darn good. Guys, more NFL, more Lions coming up next. And talking about this division, confidence in the division. Got to elevate a team. If I'm going to knock one up, I got to elevate another one.
Here we go.
I'll tell you about that next. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. Oh, one of my favorite places on the universe. And I really, really, really mean that. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience a Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Grab-and-go steaks, vacuum-packed. I had a tomahawk the other day.
Oh, I've never had one yet.
Oh, my gosh, Tom.
Come on.
It was like dessert.
How about a little
butter.
invite?
Next time, I'll
Deal.
get you.
Thank you.
Order online. They ship next day. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Sourced, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. You have an opinion? Make make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
WoodwardSports.com. Subscribe to WoodwardSports.com. Hit the like button as well. Go to WoodwardSports.com for all the latest news, articles, updates, show clips, and merchandise. Okay, so here's the deal, guys.
What's the deal?
I think, and we did this a while back, if you look at the 8 divisions in the NFL, I was most confident that the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to win the AFC South than any other team winning that particular division.
I don't blame you.
And I still do believe that Jacksonville is going to win the division. But I don't think it's a lock anymore with DeAndre Hopkins signing with Tennessee. I think Tennessee is going to surprise some people this year. So I'm going to knock Jacksonville back in terms of my confidence meter of who I believe is going to win a division championship.
Are you putting the Titans in the playoffs?
Only if they win the division.
Okay.
There's going to be one playoff team from the AFC South. It's going to be Jacksonville or Tennessee.
Fair enough.
Whoever wins that division. Guys, I've said a lot of crazy stuff that happened to be true, by the way.
Yeah. Started with the Packers losing double-digit games.
Yeah,
they came close to that.
You can
Michigan making it all the way undefeated.
You can go up and down the line. We don't have all day.
Well, you did well.
We don't have all day to.
I know. Stop patting yourself on the back, though.
Say all the things I've been right about.
And wrong.
Yeah, wrong. You can't name one. Maybe Malik Willis. The Malik Willis bad take. Other than that, I've never had a bad take on here. Other than the Malik Willis.
Okay.
Everything else came true.
Fine.
And this one I think can come true too, but I am more confident that the Detroit Lions will win the NFC North Division than any other team win their division.
So they're the new Jags.
And that includes the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the AFC West Division, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 95% sure. I don't know what the Chargers are going to be like this year. In fact, I would put Kansas City too. I think Denver is going to have a hell of a resurgence this year. I think
they'll be better.
I think that the teams in that division are just more competitive. I think the Kansas City Chiefs' schedule is very difficult. They are going to get the best shot every time they play football this year. Anytime they line up on the field, they're going to get that team's best shot. It's for that reason that Kansas City is not number 1 on that list. And even if you wanted to put Kansas City, let's just for argument's sake, even if you put Kansas City 1 on that list as the team you're most confident will win a division championship in 2023, I'm saying the Lions are number 2. In my mind, they're number 1, but they're no farther than 2.
I hope you're right. I still don't have that in me yet because they haven't won a division since 1993. I'm still in that old mode where there still are Lions. I know this is a new regime, and it's year 3 of the Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell regime. And I think they're going to do phenomenal. But the Vikings won 13 games last year. And I know they gave up 7 or 8 starters from that team. They are going to fall a little bit. They're not going to win 13 games this year. They might win 11. Ryan thinks they're going to probably win less than that. So the Vikings.
The Vikings?
They won 13 games last year.
Vikings win no more than 8 games this year.
So okay.
8 and 9 max.
Wow. You're watching quarterback, right?
Yes.
You like Kirk Cousins more now.
8 and 9 max.
They have Jefferson, best wide receiver in football.
8 and 9 max.
They drafted
Didn't we
Jordan
do this last
Addison
year with Green Bay?
I know, but they drafted Jordan Addison too.
Wasn't I killed last year for my take on Green Bay? Feel the same exact way this year.
Fair enough.
About Minnesota.
Okay.
Minnesota is this year's Minnesota is last year's Green Bay to me.
Okay. So, the Lions are your number one pick. They're your new Vikings.
Yes.
Okay. Congratulations. I hope you're right.
Thank
I'm
you.
still going with the Jags to be the easy AFC South win. They'll win that division by 2 or 3 games, if you ask me.
The Jags?
The Jags.
Will win by 2 or 3 games.
Yes. And I think the Chiefs will be right there with them, neck and neck.
Yeah, maybe.
To win their division.
Could
by
be
2
wrong.
or 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, there you
I think if the Lions win their division, they're going to win it by a game.
I do not.
The last game of the season against the Vikings, to me, will be for the division.
I do not believe Philadelphia will win the NFC East.
You like Dallas?
I like Dallas. I think Dallas wins that division.
Okay. I could see a Super Bowl, a fall off. That happens sometimes. I still think the Eagles will have a good year and make the playoffs. There could be 3 teams from that division to make
I do
the playoffs.
not think the San Francisco 49ers are a lock to win the NFC West.
Yes, they are. They're an absolute lock to win the NFC West.
Okay, fair enough.
They have the best defense in football.
I understand.
The best. They have a great offense, minus the quarterback.
What happened in Philadelphia in the playoffs?
They lost their quarterback.
Right. They don't have one.
They're going to have a quarterback that's going to be able to get them through the season.
Sam
beautifully.
Darnold?
Sam Darnold, or if Brock Purdy comes back, there's a lot of people that love Brock Purdy, including his own team. Nick Bosa said, that's the guy I want to go with.
San Francisco, by the way.
George Kittle, that's the way I want. That's the guy I want.
San Francisco's last year's plus 173 in their point differential.
Yeah.
That's number 1 in the league.
And they're not going to win the division.
Not a lock.
Okay.
I just don't like the quarterbacks. That's why. It's a quarterback league.
But even with the quarterback last year, they were plus.
Yeah, they had Brock Purdy last year.
Yeah. They say he's going to be ready by the season.
Well, if he plays, then all bets are off. Then they are a lock.
But they got Sam Darnold, who is not going to kill him. He's not. And Trey Lance, wonder where he's going to be. He can't be in San Francisco long. They got to make a move and get rid of Trey Lance.
We'll go around the NFL next, but first a message from Dispo. Lots going on in the NFL. Stay right there.
All right, we got you. Experience the true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with Dispo Dispensary. We were just there last Friday at Hazel Park. We're going to be at Romeo in another couple of weeks. Indulge in the finest selection of cannabis curated with care. Over 10 locations. Dispo is never far away, and JB might even deliver your stuff. Give them a call. Visit disposhops.com today and unlock a world of endless possibilities in the realm of cannabis. That is Dispo, D-I-S-P-O, ships.com. Dispoships.com, your local cannabis plug.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. We are the network for Detroit, by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams Maz on Woodward Sports, driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Lots of NFL excitement happening in and around the league. Tom Mazawey, we go to you.
Yes, sir.
For all of that.
Yeah, I wish Braylon was here for this one. His boy, Joe Mixon. And we all know about the Joe Mixon trials and tribulations. Well, Joe is going to take less money to remain a Cincinnati Bengal. He restructured his deal, and he's not going to make a heck of a lot there, Rye. He has taken a pretty good hit here to stay in Cincinnati. I think it was a take this or leave it, basically, Joe.
He was set to make $9.4 million in 2023, but took a $3.4 million pay cut to stay with Cincinnati. He will make $6 million a year. That's what David Montgomery got.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting too, because those the running backs that are, I think 4 p.m. the deadline today is, if you were watching live, 4 o'clock is the deadline for Saquon Barkley.
That's right.
To sign, and I believe Josh Jacobs in the Raiders is another one that have yet to sign their franchise tags, and if they don't, then here we go.
They both said they're not going to play on a franchise tag.
So you have those guys doing that for more money because they want the level of the salary of running backs increased. And then you've got Joe Mixon being like, I'm good, man. I just want to stay here in Cincy.
Yeah. Maybe win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Or maybe he looked around and said, well, no one else is going to put up with me like these guys have put up with me.
Here's a good question for you. Would you take $6 million to play in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow, or would you rather make $9.5 million and play for the Indianapolis Colts?
It's a good question. Good question. It depends how many years I played, how much money I've saved, and I'm guessing Joe Mixon.
I'm 28 years old.
I think I would. Well, that's a toughie, man. I think I'd rather play for the winner. I've already established myself in Cincinnati. The fans like me, and I'm playing for a Super Bowl contender. The Colts are starting over with Anthony Richardson. They basically dumped everybody, signed this kid, and they're handing the keys to the castle to him. I think I'm staying in Cincinnati for a little bit less.
Yeah,
that's a lot less. It's a third.
You could even, if you wanted to make the question a little bit better, I just thought about that on the fly. Would you rather make $9.5 million playing for the Houston Texans, or would you rather make $6 million playing with Joe Burrow competing for a championship? I think that's,
depends who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, look what D-Hop did. I bet you D-Hop might have had a chance to go play for the Buffalo Bills. Remember, the Bills said, if he wants to come here and chase a ring, we will sign him. Obviously, he got pissed. Remember, he put the little buffalo with the little bull with the little poop emoji on his tweet. He didn't want to go play for Buffalo to chase a ring. So he made his choice to go play in Nashville, make some more money, a lot more money, and they're probably not going to play for a ring in Tennessee. So he made his choice.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon made his choice.
There you go.
All right, let's move it on. All right, the Jets, meanwhile, have spent a lot of money. You know what they're paying Aaron Rodgers? Well, now they're paying the quarterback of their defense. You can call him that. I know Sauce Gardner probably is that guy, but it's Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams has got himself 4 years on a lot of money, $96 million to stay with the New York Jets. 66 of that is guaranteed.
He deserves it. This is the probably, aside from Aaron Donald, would you say the most dominant defensive lineman in the game?
Yeah.
Chris Jones is up there as
He's
well.
top five.
Think. Top five
He's
guy.
top five.
He's a top five guy, and he deserves top five money. You got to pay him. And if they did not pay him, it could have gotten really interesting to see what you would have done with this player and what kind of haul that would have commanded.
Hell yeah. They needed to sign him.
He is in his prime. He's just entering his prime, and he's as dominant as they come.
Speaking of dominant, the New York Football Jets. We're going to keep it right here, man. They are in the spotlight. And today they got the official go-ahead HBO put it out. The promo is out. Hard Knocks with the Jets starts on August the 8th. So there you go.
Just
August
a couple
the 8th.
of weeks away.
How about that?
How's the Aaron Rodgers feel about that?
He doesn't like it. Matter of fact, they caught up to him at a golf tournament. He kind of just put it the way Aaron Rodgers usually puts it. Right?
We'll get there.
There.
You got it? There you go. No, he doesn't have it. It's all good. What did he say, Maz? Wrap it up for us.
Well, no, he'll find it.
Oh.
He'll find it. He basically said they jammed it down our throats. We're the most looked at team right now. There's no question about that. But we'll do it. The NFL stuck it to us. We'll do it.
All right. News regarding Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter. What did Jalen Carter do? Oh, he got sued for leaving that accident. But he did a good thing too. He also paid one of his teammates' food bill. Did you read that? I didn't have that in here. But he paid one of his roommates' food bill. That didn't have a lot of money. He wound up paying his whole food bill throughout his college career. But this one, he's got to pay the piper for. It's leaving the scene of an accident. Basically cost him probably a top 3 pick in the NFL draft.
Very good. Hey, can we get the top remaining free agents up on the screen, Parker? Because I do find this to be a very interesting list. And, you do think about these running backs, Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley, 2 guys that mean everything to their teams, and they just can't get a deal done. Dalvin Cook is not signed yet. Eli Apple is not signed yet. Ezekiel Elliott is not signed yet. Taylor Lewan. I mean, there's some really, really good players out there. Leonard Fournette is not signed yet.
There's a guy that used to play here in Detroit that went to New York, made a lot of money, and got 1 touchdown. His name is Kenny Golladay. He's still out there.
Not signed yet. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Melvin Gordon is on this list.
T.Y. Hilton.
I don't know what he's doing on this list. He should just retire. But Jadeveon Clowney, Melvin Ingram, the linebacker, Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, he's still waiting. I don't know what he's waiting for. How about a Kyle Van Noy, the linebacker? He's still waiting. He's not signed.
Yeah, he feels like a system guy.
How about the number 1 guy out there, Ndamukong Suh? Still waiting to see what team's going to take him.
Yeah, you wonder what they're waiting for. Are they mysteriously waiting for some, or are they're waiting for some mystery team to come in and sign them to some, not a mega deal, but they just throw a ton of money at them? Because the teams that have the ability to do that are very few and far between.
I think most of these guys want to wait till camp is over. That's the first thing. They don't want to go to camp.
I don't know, man. If you're not in camp, you're behind. One of the things about this Netflix too is just, and Doc mentioned it, just how difficult these offenses are to learn. The language alone, even if you know how to play football, the language alone, it changes from week to week. You want to get in there. Chemistry, you want to get in there. If you're an offensive guy, you want to work with your quarterback. If you're a defensive guy, you got to learn the plays. It's a lot harder than it looks.
It's a new language. As a matter of fact, I always bring it up when we're watching this game, watching all these films, watching Hard Knocks, or watching Quarterback. I always bring it up to my wife and my daughter Lily. They love watching it with me, and I'm like, listen to these guys, just their talk. That's a language. You might as well learn how to speak Spanish or Mandarin. It's a language. Football is an absolute language. It takes a lot of studying, man. And these guys, they have those big books. They bring with them the playbooks. I'm sure it's all on a tablet now, but back in the old days, they would walk around with those big books. Right. Half of them would leave it in the damn taxi cab. There was all that kind of thing. The playbooks are out there. But yeah, it's very hard to play football, man. It's not as easy as it looks.
All right, guys. Some news regarding Michigan when we come back. I want to get into really interesting discussion, I think, regarding the wide receivers and those Michigan Wolverines. We'll get there next, but first a message from Planet Fitness.
Yes, because summertime is a great time to join Planet Fitness and beat low E. Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I do mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym with tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. Your fitness is essential and a key part of your physical and mental well-being, which is why Planet Fitness has invited teens between the ages of 14 and 19 to work out for free all summer long with our high school summer pass program. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or check them out online at planetfitness.com.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Football season is here. It is coming anyway. And it's going to be a great year for the Michigan Wolverines. We hope anyway. We think.
They better be.
Yeah. And hopefully it's a lot more exciting too. And I use the word exciting because sometimes I think last year Michigan was a little bit more boring than they had to be. I don't think they used a lot of their skilled players. You know, we talk a lot about Andrell Anthony last year. Get him the ball.
He gone.
A wide receiver, and he's gone.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we always talk about is if you don't showcase your talented players in mass.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
That's exactly right, Tom. Thank you for that analogy, but you're so right about that. So I want to put this tweet up from Josh Ogdahl. It's a really good tweet, and it just kind of highlights exactly what's been happening
since the Harbaugh era.
Look at the reception yard leaders under Jim Harbaugh. You don't see 1,000-yard receiver anywhere in the mix since Jim Harbaugh has gotten there. Now, you could say that I'm nitpicking here. You could. And I would accept that because Michigan's done a lot of winning with Jim Harbaugh. They are back-to-back Big Ten champions, and their running game, their offensive linemen, great. And that's awesome. And I'm not complaining about that. But what I'm saying is you are not going to get good players if this is your showing for wide receivers. Go back to that list real quick because I need to read that. J.U. Chesson, Amara Darboh, Grant Perry, Nico Collins, Ronnie Bell, Cornelius Johnson, and Ronnie Bell again. You don't have a guy, not only 1,000-yard guy, you don't have a 900-yard guy. And in 1, 2, 3 of those years, granted one of them was 2020, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those years, you don't have a guy over 700 yards in receiving. You have totally become a running back school.
And tight ends.
An offensive line school. And that's great. But when you don't have a 1,000-yard guy, you know what happens? Things like this. Jordan Shipp, who was Jaden Davis's high school teammate in North Carolina, prime Michigan target. Is he going to come to Ann Arbor with his high school teammate, the great Jaden Davis? No. Good. Going to North Carolina. And I don't blame him. That's a smart move for this kid. And that's why I think this year you really need to, even if you're winning 40-0, you really got to start throwing the ball. Sling that football all over the place. Win a little differently. If you got to score 60, score 60.
Keep the kids happy. Keep feeding the kids. That's what you're telling me.
Yes. Keep feeding the kids.
Even though you're winning and you're up 40-0, you want them throwing?
Yes.
That's wrong.
Why is it wrong, Tom?
Because you don't pile on at the end of a game. If you want to throw and you want to be a wide receiver, this ain't the conference. The Big Ten don't throw the ball. They don't. Minus Ohio State.
Can they throw?
They're wide receiver
I believe this is called unsportsmanlike once you do something like that. So that's why.
But can they throw it a little bit more than they have over the last 8 years of Jim Harbaugh? Can they just do that? Can you now? What did the receiver? If you're gonna play a crap schedule, you got 3 games on your schedule. You got Penn State, Michigan State, and Ohio State. Can you at least be a little bit more exciting? Is that too much to ask?
No, it isn't. But you want to win, right?
Yes, they do want to win.
I
would like to win.
They're playing to their strength, maybe, and this is why I always have my doubts about J.J. McCarthy. And
what are you doubting?
What have you really seen? What have you really seen?
Well, you haven't had to see anything because they only just hands the
So
ball
how do you
off.
know how good he is?
Well, he's the greatest Michigan quarterback to play since
Tom Brady?
No, I'd go back to Elvis Gerbach. Maybe Todd Collins.
Jim Harbaugh.
No. I mean, Chad Henne was really good, but couldn't win the big one. Couldn't win.
John Navarre?
John Navarre was good, not great. He had a hell of a weapon in Braylon Edwards. You look at Ohio State.
What did Braylon get? What was Braylon yards?
Oh, gosh.
I know he's still the leading receiver in history of Michigan football.
I'd have to go back. Hold on.
If Braylon was here, he could have answered that really quick for me. So I didn't mean throwing you a question that none of us really knew the answer to.
He was over 1,000. I know 3 straight years. I just don't know how far over 1,000.
And that's back in the day of like the big running, run it down your throat type of thing.
Right. Braylon Edwards college stats. That's what I need. Braylon Edwards college stats. Hold on. Braylon Edwards, 3,541 yards at Michigan.
And he attracted other receivers to come after him. Am I correct there?
Braylon was 1,000, 1,100, 1,300.
Man.
Yeah. 3 straight years of over
1,000.
And
then look at the wide receivers that followed him to Michigan. So I understand your point here. You're not going to get those kids anymore to come here. But you should get the running backs.
Right. It's become running back you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ohio State is wide receiver you. You can't live with that?
I could. I just think it would be.
How about tight end you?
Appropriate.
Michigan is tight end you as well.
Very good.
I mean, Iowa is probably the best in the Big Ten, but I think Michigan uses the tight ends as well as anybody does.
Speaking of college football, it almost seems silly to talk about this, but like ESPN, Paul Feinbaum, as I like to call him, it's SEC Media Days, and they're talking about whether or not Nick Saban's legacy is on the line this season.
Oh, Christ. Really?
I mean,
well, they have nothing else to talk about that.
I am all for. So if you've ever done this job, you understand.
You got to make up stuff.
Yes. Not that you have to make up stuff. You don't make stuff up. But what you do is
you reach
for topics.
Yeah.
Like, what's the greatest sports movie of all time? What's the Mount Rushmore
Oh, not Mount Rushmore.
You know, I mean, I'm just talking about different topics. Oh, what's the best movie you ever saw? What's the best sports movie?
Rocky.
I mean, you're constantly
Godfather.
filling time when there's nothing to talk about. You're constantly doing that. And I understand when people have to do that, when you talk about what kind of sandwich you ate. You know, there's another station down the dial, as they used to say, that will sit there and talk about breakfast sandwiches and
Don't forget
stuff like
pretzels.
that. Oh, and what hot pretzel? Do you eat it with mustard or do you eat it,
with cheese?
Yes, exactly. So
I like both, actually.
I don't complain generally when people do this, but if you're talking about Nick Saban's legacy on the line this season, that's just flat dumb.
That's silly. That's silly. And Paul Feinbaum went through the worst part of his life, he said, a couple of weeks ago when they were letting all those people go from ESPN. Do you know he thought he was on the chopping block, Paul Feinbaum? So maybe he's looking just to stir the pot again, to be out front, to be on the big mothership, so they could focus on him. And hell, who knows Nick Saban better than Paul Feinbaum?
Yeah, it is absolutely wild, some of the things. Nick Saban is the greatest coach to ever coach this football.
By the way, do you know Deion Sanders is going back to Nike?
Yeah, is he?
Yeah, Deion Sanders left Nike a long time ago. Speaking of college football and coaches, he is back with Nike now. So he's gonna see what he can do on the brand here. He said he's going back to work with the apparel sponsor again after selling some of the industry's most popular training shoes.
Interesting too, because he can't really feel his feet, right?
Yeah, at least the one right now.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Hopefully he's getting better.
That's right. Gang, back to wrap it up. We'll do that next, but first a message from Randy Wise.
All right. How would you like to see famous athletes like Jim Harbaugh, Darren McCarty, and Braylon Edwards play golf with average Joes like us? You know how to do it. Thanks to Randy Wise Automotive and Woodward Sports, you'll be able to do just that. It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Make the wise choice. Pay attention to Woodward Sports for more info on this coming soon.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. How would you like to win not one, but two vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Welcome back, woodwardsports.com. Maz, I love you, buddy.
I'm fighting a headache, man.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
How long you been having them headaches?
My whole life.
This is us extending. But I just still...
Can I tell you about my headache history?
I was just giving you an example of that. Hey, I wanted to show you this because I think this is the greatest thing in the world. If you are a wrestling fan, if you grew up a wrestling fan,
even if you're not,
can we show Darren McCarty on Impact?
This guy's weekend. I mean, we go to graduation parties, we jump in a pool. This guy travels and is chasing his dream, wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your special enforcer, NHL legend, Darren
McCarty. So there has to be no better feeling, no better high than to be introduced before a wrestling event or on stage somewhere at like a concert or something. Everybody's coming to see you. Is there a better feeling that? And I wonder how I would ask Darren, and when I see him, hopefully tomorrow, I'm going to ask him, how does that compare to anything you've ever done before?
He's done a lot.
Exactly. It's a unique experience, I think, to...
He loves the sport of wrestling. He absolutely is a showman. And people ask me, how's Darren doing these days? I'm like, he's living his best life. That's how he's doing. This guy travels to Jersey. He goes everywhere, all over the country to chase his wrestling dream. And JB, I know you're a big wrestling guy. How does this kind of wrestling compare to, I don't know, the WWE? Is that thing that's one below it? Is this like, what is it?
I mean, it's a slight tier below it, but it's still as popular. It just all depends on what you like to follow a little bit more. I know some people are more into stories that WWE does. Some people like a little bit more hardcore of an action that Impact or AEW would give you. It just all depends on what you're into, pretty much.
I think he gave Bully Ray a stunner too last night. So that's great. Pretty cool stuff.
They ought to do something at Little Caesars Arena. I know it's WWE, it's SummerSlam. Can Mac do something there to do some type of introduction there at Little Caesars?
I mean, I think he's with Impact now, though. He might have a contract.
Yeah, I guess so. I just figured Red Wings, Little Caesars, it's a wrestling event.
You'd think.
Yeah.
I'm sure somehow, some way he could talk or sweet talk WWE into like letting them do something, maybe an intro of somebody. Or
that would be great.
Just maybe bring them down to the ring and be like, hey, Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty is in the house.
Right, he could be a guest referee. Right.
Are you guys going, by the way, to SummerSlam?
I'm gonna try and sneak in there somehow, some way. Hopefully, I can get in there.
Sneak in. Is it really?
Yeah, tickets are ridiculously expensive.
Holy crow! Is it sold out?
No, it's not sold
out. Not at $800. It ain't gonna be sold out.
Of course, obviously not. But still, you want a good seat at Ford Field, especially for SummerSlam. So
I was looking, as a Lions season ticket holder, I got like an email on a pre-sale.
Yeah.
Like looking ringside.
Should take Lukey.
No, dude, not for that kind of money. That he wouldn't remember. I mean, like ringside was like $1,000. I was like, I just checking,
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
You could have swapped a couple of your Lion tickets for it.
No, not doing that. Not doing that. Hey, Tom, it's the Tigers and Royals tonight.
Yeah.
Series in Kansas City. And I was just looking around because the Twins feel like they're on a little bit of a hot streak here. The Twins.
Oh, they played the A's.
Well, they did, but now they're 2 games over 500 as well. This is no longer a division being led by a team under 500. That seems very significant.
Tigers are 10
in the
under.
AL Central.
Tigers are 41 and 51 right now. So what is that? 92 games in, 162 left. So 162. So you got 70 games to go. 70 games to pull something out of their hat.
Yeah.
Out of 70 games.
So what do they got to do? Go 40 and 30?
If they go 40 and 30, they're going to be
500.
They're going to be in the playoff hunt at 40 and 30.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I do, because I think the rest of the division will basically kill each other off. Because Cleveland, Minnesota, Chicago. Chicago's going to play better in the second half. By the way, look, we're watching Sabrina Ionescu. Did you see her?
Who's she?
Over the weekend? WNBA star. 3-point contest. She hit 20 straight long shots. 20 straight. She like broke the record.
That's like Larry
That's
Bird.
shooting, man. That don't matter.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Girl, boy, it don't matter. That's shooting.
She broke the total record between WNBA and NBA with 37 points scored in the 3-point contest.
Yeah, 37 points scored out of a possible 40 points scored. It is one of the most amazing things you really would ever see.
Now, Caitlin Clark, we hear about her, but this was the girl before Caitlin Clark. She got hurt. She's back now, New York Liberty, and really, she could shoot the lights out. Man. I mean, that's pretty damn good.
She's also on the cover of 2K this year.
Didn't even hit the iron. I mean, she's just dropping dimes.
I wish I had the video of Steph Curry. Did you guys see Steph Curry this weekend?
I watched that actually yesterday live.
A hole-in-one on Saturday.
I saw the eagle, but I didn't see the hole-in-one. I saw the the eagle putt to win it.
Jeez.
And he's the first active player to win the what is it? The
I don't know the name of it.
The Century, whatever.
There's a lot of athletes in this one, but he was by far he won that thing going away. What a he looks like a pro, he looks like a PGA pro.
Some people say he's better at golf than he is at basketball.
It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah,
he is.
Wait, are you admitting you watched golf?
No, I was at someone's house. I was at someone's house. We just stopped in for like 10 minutes. They had it on. I sat down, and I'm like, oh, Steph Curry. Bam.
Yeah, what is that thing called? The American Century Celebrity something?
Celebrity Golf Tour or something.
Yeah.
Hole in one.
Yeah, Mark Mulder always like is up at the top of that.
Former former MSU guy.
Yeah, American Century Golf Championship. That's what it is. Steph Curry won it with an eagle putt on 18. Josh Allen tied for 37th. Very good.
That's great.
All right, great stuff.
That's all I got for you.
All right, Tom. Good effort out of you today, big guy. Thanks for jumping into action here. We really appreciate it. Very good. All right, King. Heavyweights coming up tonight at 5 o'clock. Subscribe to Woodward Sports Network and hit that like button for us. Let's get to over 100 likes. That'd be great. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you, gang.
We'll be back.